I calculated my early retirement date. Here is the math that changed everything. What if retiring early had nothing to do with being lucky, inheriting money, or having a high-paying job, and everything to do with understanding three simple numbers that nobody ever bothered to show you? I grew up in New York watching people work themselves into the ground their entire lives, dreaming about retirement, but never actually understanding what it would take to get there. Now living here in Florida, one of the biggest retirement destinations in the entire country, I see every single day the difference between people who retired early and comfortably and people who are still working in their 70s with no end in sight. The difference almost always comes down to one thing. They understood the math. Today, I'm going to show you that exact math so you can start building your early retirement plan starting right now, regardless of how old you are or how much money you currently have. Welcome to Money Blueprint, where we make the complicated stuff about money simple and actionable for real people. Subscribe because I post new money tips and wealth building strategies every single day. Let me start with something that might surprise you. Early retirement is not just for wealthy people. It is not just for people who make six figures. It is available to anyone who understands the numbers and starts acting on them consistently. The math does not care how much you earn. It only cares about the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and what you do with that gap. Here's the simple math nobody shows you about early retirement. Number 1. The most important number in early retirement is your savings rate, not your income. Most people think the path to early retirement is earning more money. That is only half the truth. The real driver of early retirement is your savings rate, the percentage of your income you save and invest every single month. Here is why this matters so much. Someone earning $50,000 per year and saving 50% of their income will reach financial independence faster than someone earning $200,000 per year and saving only 10%. The math is ruthless and beautiful at the same time. Here in Florida, I have met retirees who never earned six figures in their lives, but retired in their 40s because they consistently saved and invested a high percentage of their modest incomes. And I have met people who earned enormous salaries their entire careers and ended up with nothing because they spent everything they made. The question is not how much you earn. The question is how much of what you earn are you keeping and putting to work for your future. Number 2. The 25 times rule. How much you actually need to retire. Here is the number that changes everything. To retire early and never run out of money, you need to have saved approximately 25 times your annual expenses. That is it. That is the magic number. So if your annual expenses are $40,000 per year, you need $1 million invested. If your expenses are $60,000 per year, you need $1.5 million. If your expenses are $30,000 per year, you need only $750,000. This rule comes from something called the 4% rule, a principle backed by decades of financial research showing that you can safely withdraw 4% of your investment portfolio every year without ever running out of money over a 30-year period. Growing up in New York, where the cost of living is incredibly high, I used to think retirement required an impossibly large number. Moving to Florida, where the cost of living is significantly lower, I realized that by simply reducing your annual expenses, you dramatically reduce the amount you need to retire. Living in a lower-cost state is one of the most powerful early retirement strategies that nobody talks about. Number 3. The rule of 72, how fast your money doubles. This is the simplest and most powerful piece of math in all of personal finance. Divide 72 by your expected annual investment return, and you get the number of years it takes for your money to double. At a 10% annual return, which is the historical average of the S&P 500, your money doubles every 7.2 years. That means if you have $50,000 invested today, you will have $100,000 in about 7 years without adding another single dollar. Now imagine what happens when you keep adding money consistently every single month on top of that compounding growth. The numbers become extraordinary over 10 to 20 years. This is why starting as early as possible matters so much. Every year you wait is a year of doubling that you miss out on forever. Number 4. The FIRE formula. The exact calculation for your early retirement date. FIRE stands for Financial Independence. Retire early. It is a movement that has helped thousands of regular people retire decades earlier than traditional retirement age. And the math behind it is simpler than you think. Here is the formula. Take your annual expenses and multiply by 25. That is your FIRE number, the amount you need invested to retire. Then calculate how long it will take you to reach that number based on your current savings rate and expected investment returns. For example, if your annual expenses are $50,000, your FIRE number is $1.25 million. If you are currently saving $2,000 per month and investing it at a 10% annual return, you would reach your FIRE number in approximately 22 years. Start at 25 and you retire at 47. Start at 30 and you retire at 52. But here's where it gets really exciting. Every time you increase your savings rate or reduce your annual expenses, you shorten that timeline dramatically. Increase your monthly savings from $2,000 to $3,000, and you might retire 5 years earlier. Reduce your annual expenses from $50,000 to $40,000, and your FIRE number drops by $250,000 overnight. Number 5. The 3 levers that accelerate early retirement. Now that you understand the math, here are the 3 things you can do starting today to pull your retirement date closer. Lever 1. Increase your income. A side business, a promotion, freelance work, AI-powered income streams. Every extra dollar earned that gets invested accelerates your retirement timeline dramatically. Lever 2. Reduce your expenses. Not by living miserably, but by identifying the spending that does not actually make you happy and eliminating it. Most people find hundreds of dollars per month in expenses they barely notice and do not actually value. Lever 3. Optimize your investments. Make sure your money is working as hard as possible. Low-cost index funds. Tax-advantaged accounts like 401k and Roth IRA. Automatic investing so you never miss a contribution. These optimizations can add years of extra growth to your retirement portfolio without any additional effort. Here in Florida, and growing up in New York, I have seen both sides of this story. People who understood these 3 levers and pulled them consistently, and people who never learned the math and worked until their bodies gave out. The difference in quality of life is heartbreaking on one side and inspiring on the other. Here is what I want you to do right now after watching this video. Calculate your FIRE number. Take your monthly expenses, multiply by 12 to get your annual expenses, then multiply by 25. Write that number down. That is your target. That is the number that buys your freedom. Then look at your current savings rate and ask yourself honestly, am I doing everything I can to reach that number as fast as possible? If the answer is no, that is okay. Because now you have the math. Now you have the blueprint. And every single day you apply this knowledge is a day you move closer to the early retirement that most people only dream about. If this video helped you understand something nobody ever explained before, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Money Blueprint, because I break down the simple money math that changes lives every single day. And tell me in the comments, what is your FIRE number? Calculate it right now and drop it below. I read every single comment, and I am genuinely excited to see your numbers. All the investing tools and resources I recommend are linked in the description below. Your early retirement starts with understanding the math. And now you do.